Is China preparing to invade Taiwan? Xi Jinping's huge announcement sparks fear of a major war. CCP leader says no one, not even America, can stop Taiwan's reunification with China. So is war inevitable? Taiwan vows to protect its independence and has boosted its own defense budget to face any Chinese invasion. The White House approves $571 million defense support for Taiwan amid growing Chinese invasion threats. Dozens of Chinese warships and nearly 50 military aircraft are spotted near Taiwan, raising fears in the island nation. A few days ago, the PLA had deployed its largest naval fleet near Taiwan. Is the CCP preparing for an invasion? The war drums are beating after Xi Jinping once again made his intent clear. China is preparing to invade Taiwan sooner rather than later. Will India be pulled into the conflict? Will the United States urge its Quad allies to form a united front against Chinese expansionist threat? Utterly dismissing Taiwanese nationality, Xi Jinping declared, quote, "We are Chinese on both sides of the Taiwan Strait. No one can ever stop China's reunification, a trend of the times," unquote. Taiwan had earlier rubbished any talks of reunification, with Taiwanese president declaring that the country's 23 million citizens believe in democratic process and that the island would never submit to communist CCP's dictatorship. Where dissent is met with bullets and tanks, while questioning the communist regime can land any Chinese in permanent imprisonment or detention camps. Remember, China views Taiwan as a rebel province that must be reunified with the mainland. Xi Jinping, in fact, has never ruled out the use of force to capture Taiwan. CCP uses its financial and diplomatic clout in an attempt to isolate the island nation from the rest of the world. But in reality, that has not been a success. In a show of force came the largest deployment of Chinese naval vessels around Taiwan since 1996. As Chinese authorities announced 7 reserved areas for airspace from December 9 to 11th. The announcement came as a retaliation to Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te's first overseas trip, during which he visited Marshall Islands, Palau and Tuvalu, and also made 2 stopovers in the United States of America. Keeping Taiwanese forces on guard, the People's Liberation Army continued to stage war games with nearly 90 Chinese naval and coast guard ships encircling the island nation. Defense Ministry spokesperson Sun Lifang said, quote, "It can indeed be said that the scale of these maritime forces exceeds the 4 drills since 2022, unquote. This was the 3rd military drills after Lai assumed office in Taiwan, with the last 2 conducted in October and in May. On October 14th, PLA approached Taiwan with 153 military aircraft and the aircraft carrier Liaoning, with its troops of Army, Navy and Air Force and Rocket Force. Focusing on air combat readiness, the Chinese government claimed the drills were meant to test its troops' joint operations capabilities. A ministry map showed 28 of those aircraft had crossed the sensitive median line of the Taiwan Strait, which had previously served as an unofficial barrier, though China does not recognize it. The PLA joint drills, dubbed Joint Sword, involved blockading key Taiwanese ports along with assaults on maritime and ground targets. The Chinese war games, which began without prior notice, occurred in response to a speech delivered by Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te on the occasion of the country's National Day, where he went on to slam China and said it has no right to represent Taiwan. Meanwhile, Taiwan has been actively working to advance relations with India, as it considers New Delhi key to countering Chinese expansionist ambitions. Taipei has introduced 2 new visa programs to attract skilled Indian workers required in key sectors such as technology, engineering and more. Taiwan's Foreign Minister Lin Chialong claimed India is crucial as a counterweight to China, saying, quote, "China is challenging the existing rules-based international order. I think it is legitimate that all countries, especially like-minded countries, get together and have closer cooperation and dialogue to face the challenge together. And among these countries, India is especially important," unquote. Lin called Taiwan's struggle against China's expansionist ambitions highly correlated with India's ambition. Meanwhile, more Taiwanese companies are moving their supply chains out of China, and are establishing them in India. Taiwan's foreign direct investment in India drove up to more than $665 million in the 5 years to 2023. The two-way trade between India and Taiwan was $10.1 billion during the financial year ending March 2024. The two nations have developed a close business relationship in recent years, with India keen on more investment from the major chip-producing nation to aid its own efforts to boost manufacturing and self-reliance. The big question remains, will India be drawn into the conflict? And should India join the US in supporting Taiwan when the CCP launches its invasion? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.